If people didn't get anything else, they went for travel. So it was pretty hard for us, I think, initial days to hire. I think there's a fine line between resilience and stubbornness. When you're in the zone, you're plain, stupid, stubborn. The fact that I did not give up AMF bowling much earlier, I was just stubborn. But every entrepreneur, I believe, has to be stubborn. If you're not stubborn, which comes out of an innate degree of, I guess, self-confidence, I think an innate desire to prove to yourself and to the people who mean something to you that you can succeed, you will fail at the first hurdle that you get. Not fail, you'll just quit. You'll quit very early. So if you fundamentally believe in something and the analytics tell you that things are going right, albeit a long way away, your ray of light or your ray of hope is pretty far, but you're moving in the right direction week on week on week. And that's how we went through our toughest hours. 2001 to 2003, our business was generating no money, we were losing, we had no funding, self-funded. I took no salary for 18 months, some of the other senior guys took big cuts. It was really, really dark. But there's just two things which kept me going. The right side of the brain, which is, I guess, the creative side, kept me going because it was the stubbornness which said, I'm going to make this happen, this is important, I have to prove to myself, this can't be another AMF bowling all over again, I know I'm onto a good thing. The left side of the brain, the analytical one, supported that by saying that week on week we're getting better. Our conversion numbers are improving. One day the cost and the revenue line will intersect. One day we'll break even. Now it's a question of how much I can pull that intersection closer to where I am now and how I can bridge the gap with capital. That's all I need to do. So, and I had a couple of senior colleagues who later became co-founders who supported me in that, which is great because we had three of us to talk to connect with. And that was really important too. And that's what keeps you going. So I think stubbornness, you look back and you say, I was resilient. So if it's successful, you look back and say, oh, I was very resilient. I went through 2001 and 2003 due to my vision and due to my resilience. That's all BS. At that point of time, you're plain stubborn. It keeps you going is a crazy desire to succeed. That's very important. If you don't have that, I don't think entrepreneurship is a great line. And finally, I think you've got to have lasting inspirations. For me, I've got many actually. A few of them are listed here. Steve Jobs for sure. Sheer desire for perfection. Strive for perfection at any cost. Do you know one of the coolest things that Jobs does, and I don't know if any of you have read his biography, which Isaacson's written, very, very cool. So Steve Jobs of Apple would take 100 of his top executives to a retreat and go in the wilderness, wherever they would go, for 2 days, and he'd do it quite often, I think once a year or twice a year. And he'd say, what do you think the company should be doing? You're the CEO, each one of you put down 5 new ideas that the company should focus on this year. So you would have 500 ideas. Of course, you'd have tons of overlaps, and they'd quickly sort those out because these are all super bright guys. And they'd come up with maybe a list of 100 unique ideas, or maybe even 60, 70 unique ideas. And then they'd battle them out. He'd say, these are too many, we can't do so many things, of course. So before the night is out, you've got to come down to 10 or 20 ideas, some number, I forget what it was. And the fist fights would start because guys would say, this is a smarter idea and I can support it by doing this. This is how much we'll make out of this. This can take Apple all the way here, etc., etc. And they do all of that, and maybe 1 a.m. in the morning, they'd say, okay, we've finally got 10 ideas. And these are the 10 that Apple is going to focus on this year, which is awesome. They'd say, great, okay, have a good night's rest, whatever you need to do, come back in the morning. And the 10 ideas are up there on the board, right there, flip chart, 10 ideas, great ideas, which 100 of you put together. He says, now we're going to do 3 of them. So now figure out how we're going to come down to 3. So the idea wasn't they take all day to get to 3. The idea is focus, laser sharp focus. Do few things, do it well. And which company has proven this better than Apple? Look at what they do. At the end of the day, I mean, there are a lot of small products, but at the end of the day, there are 3 products they make. All of you know it's the most valuable company in the world, ever. That's unbelievable, by making 3 products. They make, iPhones, they make iPads, and they make pretty much, iTouches, I guess, is their third. But between these 2 products, just their iPhones and their iPads, they become the most valuable company in the world, where people can't get enough of them. It's focus. His whole focus on design is a very contrarian view to how we look at design. They look at design by taking away. How much can you take away from that box to make it simpler? Not how much can you add to it. And that's why that device becomes so simple. So the original dial on the iTouch or the iPod was take away from it. And it's fascinating. Similarly, I think Amazon has done something really, really great around customer centricity online. So if any of you have